Essentially what we've done is taken the sensitivity, robustness, and reliability improvements that we have, sort of tested technology in our triple quad, high-end triple quad, and transferred that onto our Xenotop platform. So all the front-end optics of our 75 Plus, which is like market-leading sensitivity, reliability, robustness, has now become the front-end optics that we've transferred across to the 8600. So you have the OptiFlow Pro, ion source, the dual frequency Q-jet, the D-jet to go with that, as well as the mass guard electrodes, which protect the robustness and reliability of the system. So that really is the core, I would say, of the pretty significant sensitivity improvements and improvements we've seen, so lower limits of quantitation. And that's translating typically of 10x, but potentially up to 30x on some assays we've seen, improvements in LOQ, which is fantastic. The main thing we had to do as well is that it's great that you can introduce all those ions, but you also have to be able to detect those ions. So in order to deal with the brightness of the ion beam, we had to completely redesign our detector. So we had to come up with a brand new architecture, because if you don't do that, your detector simply lasts 10 times less. So we had to completely rethink how to detect those ions in order to protect linear dynamic range. We have great linearity now on the back-end detector, and a detector that will last up to 5 years with the brightness of the ion beam that we come in. So the whole package is like a really significant upgrade relative to our 7600, and really exciting. Probably the most boring bit is it's Windows 11 compatible, right? We all have to deal with that in our home lives as well as our work lives. So a lot of our customers have been asking for that. So we've now delivered that. But probably the more exciting thing from our scientist perspective is we've added new capabilities like automated compound optimization. So that's scientists tend to spend a lot of time doing compound optimization. So we're really trying to automate that as much as possible and take as much of the drudgery out of that part of their workflow, and get them to the fact that they can actually run the instrument, it's as easy as possible, and then on the back end do all the data analysis as easy as possible. And I think that's I would say a change we're continuing to see in the market, that our customers want to get to their answer as quickly as possible now. So compound optimization, we've made some significant enhancements to our swath Xenoscan DIA, so data independent acquisition. So we've got the 2.0 version now, expanded the mass range. We can cover full multi-omics now. Previously we had a slightly truncated mass range on that, so we've really expanded that now. That's opened up metabolomics experiments now using our Xeno DIA approach. And I would say that's a trend we continue to see, is that customers really like the idea of doing these data independent acquisitions, because they can retrospectively go back and mine the data. And sometimes that can be they go back a week later, having done a series of data processing, they've discovered something, and they can go back and say, hey, did I see that in previous samples? They don't have to go rerun the samples now. They just go back and remine the data. I would say another area we're excited about is our AI quantitation software. And I would say there's a couple of areas that we've working closely with customers that we've identified. One of which is around really understanding instrument uptime and metrics and performance of the instrument to get to sort of predictive monitoring of the system. So our metric strata capability, really looking at the actual data coming off the instrument and predicting performance and trends. So you can start to give indications to the customer to say, hey, you may need to clean your instrument, or there may be something going on with your column or your chromatography you might want to look into, so they don't lose precious samples. I think the other area is around method development. And just similar, we were talking about compound optimization. I think the general process of building methods, particularly if you're building a large panel, pesticide screening is a great idea, right? Customers spend a lot of time working on and building those methods so they can have more tools to be sort of predictive, to be able to look at the structure they're looking at and say, hey, we think these are the right fragments to use based on the structure of your molecules. So we've been closely working with EvoSep for a number of years. Love the technology, fantastic. And I think it fits well with the sort of philosophy of where we're trying to go, which is really sort of trying to get towards, automated, acquisition, data analysis, and simplifying the whole running the instrument and acquiring the data process and getting to an answer as easy and as quickly and as predictably as possible. So we really like what EvoSep have done around that, where they have these, straightforward methods that give very reproducible and high quality data and very accurate quantitative capability. So very reproducible, very precise measurements we're able to get off of them, run to run, and fast separation. So that plays very well into where we're going with the 8600, where we now have exquisite quantitative performance, which matches very well with the Eno platform, as well as this high-speed analysis.